All right, looks like we're going to be starting here soon. So, like, I'm not sure on the invite. It's passed down for sure?
Correct. Jesse has already won an invite,
Okay.
so the invite automatically goes down to second place.
That's
if
for
Jesse
sure at
wouldn't-
LQ?
Yep, I believe
Okay.
so.
Okay, well, because I was told different.
I can double check in the rules, but
Confirmed with head judge at Gen Con.
Gen Con says yes. Head judge says yes.
He's
So
the head judge at
okay,
at Kansas
cool.
City.
For LQs though. Okay.
Yep.
So-
Neat.
Basically-
I was misinformed.
so basically the only thing on the line here is the trophy and pride, which
Right.
is definitely something both of these guys
Lack.
care.
Oh, they
about.
have. I mean,
No,
they
they
might-
no, they lack it, but they care about
they
it.
care about it, but
So-
they like. Okay, Mion, no value in Mion. It's kind of rough, but it still is a backup. I mean,
Definitely something that Chris has done throughout the day. I've
Yeah.
seen, but
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
2-drop backups are still 2-drop backups. So
Still, yeah,
Yep.
backup.
and
I wonder how Chris is going to deal with the Golbez. Looking at his list, I mean, it's a pretty standard wind
Earth list, but
It'll
big
be
things that come
interesting.
into mind are like there's a Shantota to clean up afterwards. We have Diabolus to break Golbez, and we have Yashtola to cancel the activation.
Death Gaze.
Yep.
I guess.
Right. Death Gaze is definitely one of the better answers, and
I
when they
think-
played in Swiss, I believe Chris did Death Gaze the second or third Golbez that Jesse played.
Right, because he's not going. So
Yep.
he's going to grab a Shantoto probably.
Total will
Yeah.
still get rid of Golbez completely.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, correct. Golbez does get erased out by a Shantotto
Yes.
completely, and you can see
He
that
has
here
to
by
hit
what
the
Chris
break zone.
grabbed.
Yes, confirmed. Yeah, interesting. Strong start. Having to overpay, quote unquote, for Star Sybil. Really good card. Searching for any 11
Correct. Any 11 character
besides Star
Yep.
Sybil. Normally, you want to have Semilafina on the board, but
You can't win them all.
No, I mean,
But
this is the strong play.
Clearly,
and I think that's smart.
Chris can win them all. He's been doing so pretty good throughout most of the day. He had a
One
tie round 6, which was a double loss.
Just making sure. Okay, so the Kefka. That's interesting.
Yeah, backup Kefka, something that's not very standard in most Golbez lists. Normally
Used to
they're
be.
yeah, used to be, but fell out of favor a little bit when all the Gilgamesh got printed, so that they
Yes.
started to play Strongest Sword and always would hit off the Strongest Sword. But
Right, yeah, you hit your own
Jesse's
Golbez.
Yep,
Which,
shifted for
a lot
three
of
Kefka.
resources.
I believe he is playing all three,
Yes.
and a Cosmos as just something so that he can play as odd costs and
Color
all of his
fixing.
off elemental cards, like Wyatt just said.
Well, because we were talking about he had a situation where he needed to search for another lightning. He had a Golbez but couldn't play it
Oh, sure.
on the pass round. So like having that Cosmos allowed him just to
Yeah.
call lightning.
Yeah.
4
CP here for an Aparuru, it looks like.
Aparu is a really good card.
Pick up a character.
Any character.
So-
she costs less based on the amount of backups you have.
So it'll be interesting to see what he grabs here.
What would you grab?
Yeah, I would probably grab the Yasmat. It just breaks Golbez, and then you can clean up with your Shantota afterwards. Or
Oh, sure.
okay, sure, the Gabranth to find any forward that works. I don't know. Yasmat just can run away with the game, and I don't believe Jesse has too many answers in his deck for it, which means
Strongest Sword
Right.
would be his one. He does have a few ways to fight.
Sure.
But it'd be tough. Like, he would have to combo.
right. Yep. It is definitely a 10K, which means you'd have to Kefka pump and then fight with a Hecaton Kyre, which means you're breaking even at that point.
Or
but
hopefully hitting, like, a
Right.
haul on EX and then
Right,
taking
yep.
care of it after.
So-
Which is not ideal. So, yeah, Yasmat would be big.
he did decide to go with the Gabranth, finds any character or any forward, I believe, of 5 or more.
For Gabranth,
Yes.
yes, 5 or more. An interesting...
Looking at things like Cam, Veritas.
Jesse
you-
is playing Bahamut Zero, though, which would take care of Yasmat. Doesn't care how big he is. Just
Sure,
breaks.
sure. And doles everything else, and you
Yes.
can get a big swing in with all the small
Right.
forwards.
And I think
so-
it pairs really well with all the small little weenies you get.
Right, yep. But then again, I believe he is still playing Strongest Sword Gilgamesh.
He is. Yes, he is. He's
So
playing
that can get a
Strongest
little
Sword.
awkward sometimes if you start to jam all these backups and summons and everything in
Oh,
there.
for
but
sure. For sure.
Apparently it's
yeah.
been working out for him most of the day.
I
so.
think 10 cards are non-forwards. I haven't seen him whiff yet, and I imagine he hasn't whiffed very often, but it could happen.
Odds are pretty low, and you can normally know or mitigate where some of your cards are due to mulligans or like discarding to CP and stuff. So.
We all know what happens, though, when the odds are low and you're in the finals, heart of the cards,
Right.
and you'll hit a summon. So Chris is playing a lot of backups. Obviously,
Discarded a Shantotto
not
for
afraid.
a minor to bring back a Shantotto.
not afraid of a Mist
Yeah.
Dragon or anything like
Right.
that. That's just a smart player.
Yeah.
Playing smart rather than cautious.
Earthwind is definitely one of those decks that would like to set up, and Golbez does not apply a whole lot of pressure here. However, you might expect a Kefka on the Golbez, but...
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't do it. I suppose he doesn't want to.
He knew the Shantoto was there too.
He's going to have to play around that. I mean, I would have no problem just swinging in with Golbez once per turn and getting a point of damage. I mean, he's winning 2-0.
Right. But the downside to that is Earthwind would also gladly have you swing in with a Golbez every turn. So
exactly, which is fine.
Double-edged sword. We'll see how that.
He
pays
can
off.
bank some cards, in hand, and Jesse can, determine what forwards he wants to play to supplement.
Prepare for a big turn, and he can definitely break his own Golbez in response to like a Shantoto if he'd need to. Not that that would be the best play, but get some forwards out there. And
how would he break it in response to the Shantoto?
Well, you could just let's see. Looking at his list,
unless he has strongest sword, I guess.
Strongest sword, or like.
But wouldn't Shantoto still go off once you get
Shantoto
all 4?
Would still go off.
Yeah,
but.
So that wouldn't be ideal. But yeah, point counterpoint.
Right. Build up a good amount of cards and force a big turn. So.
I'm hoping for my bubble tea soon. I'm excited. All right, swinging with Golbez again. Chris is just happy to take that.
Yeah, looks like he hit a Mist Dragon off of damage there. But
okay, hitting the Luso.
Luso for Luso.
Or not hitting it, but playing Luso.
And I think as the game goes on, you just kind of have less and less Golbez threats to find.
Exactly. Once your deck gets thinned out, it does get rough.
Because you can see the 2 Luso here. I think he only has 1 left.
Yeah, he plays 3 Luso. He plays, a good amount of the other ones.
Right. But as far as like 2 Larsa for water targets, 2 Squall for ice targets, and I know an Ice Squall is already gone. He discarded it for CP early on.
Okay, he does.
Just kind of some things to keep an eye on, but and that's going to be enough to force the Shantoto.
Okay, and that's a smart play.
Right, you're fine with getting behind, but you don't want to get too far behind.
And he plays
once he applies a second threat,
Stola, as we saw the last game, is a big threat to the Golbez. It's hard for him to deal with. He can't Heka. He could straight break, obviously with Bahamut 0, but your Stola is going to cancel that action ability, and then your Golbez is just broken.
Right. So we'll see what Jesse can come up with for a counter here. He's just been kind of playing draw go for a few turns and didn't want to discard the hand size, I'm sure, so he just played that Luso out and probably figured the least important cards in his hand. And now it looks like he's going to be another Golbez.
Could have been baiting the Shantoto. I mean, Chris already has the Mion on the board.
Right.
He has the Shemazai, so he could bounce the Shantoto back. Like having it in play is big. When I was talking to Chris, like when he sees it as damage, he said it was pretty rough, but he had other ways to take care of it.
Right.
Golbez is going to be a different animal, though. Without the Shantoto in his deck, so he's going to fight, and obviously this Heka gets around the Y'shtola not taking damage because it's player damage, not summon damage or ability damage.
Yeah. I mean, whether you let the fight go off or you just break the Y'shtola, it works out all the same. So
exactly.
Nothing too major there, but I believe that was his entire hand.
He's just going to break Golbez.
Which makes sense. You Kefka pump and then end it, turn Kefka will trigger and break. Hopefully try and apply some pressure here. We'll see what Chris has for a follow-up and try and clean up the board. But
because that's the last Luso.
Yeah, and I think if Chris can make it through this Golbez, I think he'll be pretty far ahead. But you can never underestimate a Gilgamesh army.
See how relevant this Larsa is. It's basically Minwu. Your forwards aren't going to take damage that are less. So Luso is kind of big right now.
Larsa?
Yeah. And Luso gets 1,000 power for each. So
how is
he's
this AK. Larsa worded? I can't remember exactly.
Forwards you control don't take damage that is less than their power.
Or do you negate damage that's less than their power?
No, it's not negate. I don't think negate was added till this set. But if you want to look it up here, we'll take it up. I don't know how to type, and we all know I never learned to read. So, like, Chris is pretty set up where he could power play. He can break the star up right there.
Okay, so it's the Opus 2 one.
Yep.
They don't receive damage less than their power.
Yep. So basically like a Minwu. It's a really good card. I'm glad to see him playing it. I haven't seen it played forever.
Yeah, and like your other kind of option that you want to play as like a water card would be the Zidane here, and as far as like Golbez tutors go, that kind of have an impact, and I guess it all depends on kind of what you're going for. The Zidon's probably better in like the all-in aggressive deck where you can recoup your Golbez, whereas like
Right.
Larsa's just better at protecting forwards, kind of like your Luso and your Gilgamesh.
Yeah,
So.
it's just, I mean, because he's got some big guys, and like Renhutton, however
Yeah.
you pronounce that, 7K.
Right.
Like, you know, you can block a lot of things with that. Okay, so here we go. He played the Fina, killed the Larsa.
Well, put in the Fiend off the Star Sybil, and then he followed up with a Noctis.
Right. But like making sure now, like, you know, he doesn't have the Larsa. It could come into play here. It could be big. That Noctis, oh man, Noctis is so good. As Chris said when we interviewed him, that was probably his favorite card. Again, box toppers are good cards.
How big is Luso? Luso's a 5K,
Luce
right?
is 7K right now
7K.
because he gets 1K for each forward.
other forward.
Yep.
Sure.
I don't think he ever really has the the point of damage ever on, but Luso, I mean, he still is
He's still
good
just
in
a
Golbez.
first strike brave guy.
Yeah, and he's really strong. I discounted him myself when I first saw that, and people said Golbez.
Yeah,
He's
a lot
proving
of,
me wrong.
A lot of other people looked at him and just thought he'd be good in like the
Yuri.
deck Chris is playing, or
Well,
less so this version, but like other versions that are like the Yuri version,
with
like
Yuri.
Wyatt stated.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Like I've had a lot of debates where like mono win Yuri, and everybody's just like, no, he's a worse whatever.
right, but
I saw Kageyama playing a Wind Lightning FFTA2 deck, and he was getting it off. He would swing with Luso with Yuri out, get the point of damage, and then Luso would hit for damage too.
yeah. Well, then you also have like Adele and Ilua and just
Yeah.
other good Tactics 2 cards and a
Yes.
lot of support for it. So I definitely like that route. But
Yeah, very strong deck. It was neat. Hitting for 2 points of damage on one swing is tough. And then, not to mention, First Strike Brave.
yeah, some people might remember Mambo de Chocobo back in the day that used the 3-drop Barts to kind of get the
Yes.
double hit effect, and that's just always been good. So
Yes, the Build-A-Barts.
all right, let's see. Looks like we had a what went on this last turn here. Luso died.
I kind of missed
Noctis.
Noctis fight.
Noctis fight. Hit the
Save-
Phoenix
save
off of damage,
Noctis,
and then
okay.
pitching 2 cards. It looks like it's or pitches a Zidane and use some CP. It looks like so.
that. Yeah, probably, yeah. So, Noctis, modes are strong.
Yeah.
He's very, very versatile. Being able to fight and making him not take damage, really good.
Right, and something to always keep your eye on too is to see like when you take damage. For not necessarily for this Noctis, but future Noctis too. Like if you can line it up with a Cecil special, because
Right, yes, and we were talking about that. So Noctis checks damage, but you can stack to it.
Correct.
If he's on the board. So let's say you're at 4
4
points,
damage, correct.
and you play Cecil,
However.
and you dark twice, or Fasoya, whatever you want to do,
Yep.
and you go to 6 on the stack. His ability checks if you're on 6 points of damage, so you will target 3 forwards and break them all.
Right, or even if you just have your Noctis in play and they attack you and they put you to your 5th damage, it'll still trigger, and then you can use a Cecil special during your opponent's turn, get 2 fights plus the Cecil break in like
Well,
the middle
2
of
breaks
combat.
in one
Yeah.
fight. You mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, plus the Cecil break.
Oh, sure.
Because the Noctis will trigger
sure.
twice, plus you get the
Yeah.
Cecil for the 3rd break and a fight.
The biggest thing
So-
with Noctis too is the way he's worded. It checks the 6 points of damage for the break first, so it gets around Alua's bubble if you take a point of damage, and you can fight her. It's something that's a really good
Yeah.
counter to Alua.
Really big play here is Cecil to break the Gilgamesh.
Oh, that's rough. Oh, he paid 2. Okay. When his Gilgamesh broke, he paid 2 to get the other Gilgamesh out, which would have been good, but it comes in dull.
Right.
Turns
So-
out Cecil's a really good card.
We'll see what Jesse can do here. Looks like 1 damage to 3 damage, 4 damage.
Chris is on 5 points of damage,
5 points,
and Jesse
sure.
has 1. But Jesse has, 2 cards in hand?
2 cards in hand and a Kefka in play, whereas Chris has 3 backups, a Fina, and a Cecil. So
I think I see a Death Gaze in Chris's hand, too, so he's just going to salivate and hope he plays his last Golbez.
right, it's
Go
always
ahead.
nice having the answer in hand, and then
I don't think Jesse has a way to break a
monsters.
monster.
Correct.
I don't think so, which a lot of decks don't play Monster Hate, and I know why. A lot of people aren't playing monsters, but
Yeah,
monsters are really powerful.
Mono water or monsters hasn't been a thing for quite a while.
Right. And like
A lot of other
everybody
small
just-
monsters have kind of fallen off the mat, especially with Dataluma being banned. You no longer
Right.
have to worry about Cactar Dataluma.
Exactly.
Layak was big for a little while, but I think he just kind of got outclassed by other cards.
Yeah, and you're not going to tech in cards to deal with Layak. I mean,
Right.
it's a 1-drop. Although, Bismarck, really good card. Return it to their hand. All right, I hear my bubble tea coming, I think, so that's pretty exciting news. I know everybody wanted that update. I see smiles. I see bubble tea. Where's mine? You already drank out of that. That's gross.
I'm sorry.
Get it out of here. Get out of here. Nope. Everybody, I want you to know he didn't get me a bubble tea.
So Dylan Straube is now banned from hosting our streams.
Yes. Okay, so he's playing Zidane. Wow.
Yeah, and this is kind of what you expect when you play Golbez sometimes.
What would you take out of that? I mean, maybe the Gilgamesh?
You don't care about the Squall because he already discarded his other Squall, so he doesn't have any ice cards left to pay.
Yeah, the Gilgamesh was the right.
Same with the Larsa. He's already gone through the Larsa, so you can't play it.
You don't care about the Delita if he doesn't have Golbez.
Or any forward in general, I mean.
Yeah, because, Delita just breaks a character. I mean, if he plays it, he'll have to sacrifice his Kefka.
Right.
So, I mean, that'll put him way behind.
Hit an X-Burst off of a Gabranth here to find the Golbez, so I would assume on his turn he was going to have to go all in on that Golbez, and it'll be interesting to see if he Kefkas it right away, or if he expects Chris to have an answer.
If he doesn't, Chris has that Death Gaze.
Right, so we'll see if Jesse makes the heads-up play of just getting rid of the Golbez right away, or if he thinks the 6-drop 9K is going to be big enough to hold down the fort, per se.
He has. Yeah, I don't know. Does he have this? He has the CP to play it, right?
Yeah, he has the CP. He had 3 cards in hand, and Gabranth got him the 4, so he has a couple
extra.
Yep. So
wow.
We'll see how it goes.
Game state, Wyatt.
It's all right. Wyatt was distracted by not having a bubble tea.
I am really upset. Okay, so I mean, he has his color fix.
Yeah, it has the color fix. Let's see if it's a little late or not, but see if he goes all in on that Golbez right here.
I wonder what he does if he does the Kefka or the Delita play if he has the cards in hand.
Well, since he played that Cosmos, I don't believe he has enough cards in hand because he was at 4 cards in hand, drew 2 for his turn, up to 6, pitched 1 for the Cosmos.
Ooh, he's opting not to.
Yeah, it pitches Delita for Ursula.
Okay.
I don't know, try to stem the bleeding just so we don't die this next turn, I would assume, because we're at 4 damage, it looks like. Our graphics a little hard to tell, but...
Yeah, Jesse's on 5 and Chris is on 5, so it's 5-5 right now.
Yeah, and you see here he just discards it.
Okay.
3-drop breaks the Kefka.
He'll be able to trade with one of Chris's 9Ks.
Yeah, and did we not...
What's up?
Delita just breaks one of your own characters.
Yeah,
okay,
he broke the Kefka. Yep.
Right, yep.
Character, yep.
Yeah, I keep thinking there's a different effect on that one,
forward.
too. Yep.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and the Death Gaze here on the Delita puts it pretty far out of reach because now he's just going to attack
7K,
through.
7K, Zidane.
Hoping for a pretty good X-Burst there. And
okay,
he's
going to scoop.
Realizes it's not even going to do much.
It was on the wall. Yep, the
rating was on the wall.
Thank you.
No problem.
Like we finish our own
sentences.
Vodka was the end of that sentence, but it's okay.
We haven't done that in quite a while.
I'm trying to stay away. No comment. So they're shuffling up here. Chris has game 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Again, we are back to the main phase. We are part of the Metamaniacs. Coming to you live from Fargo, North Dakota. Having a good day. It's been a great LQ. A lot of, I think we had
33 players.
33 players out here today.
Day.
Great showing. A lot of cool people. A lot of neat decks. A lot of Porum. Famfred 100 times.
I honestly don't believe there was too much of it. I think I only saw maybe 2 or 3 deck lists floating around. But
I played 2 of them.
So
I played 2 of them. It was so bad.
Well, I was just unlucky and found all the Porum Famfred shenanigans going on.
My salt will go away. It'll turn into sugar overnight.
Yeah. Clearly.
Yes, we do. The stream, they really want to know why you didn't give me bubble tea when you promised. Let's interview Dylan and see what he has to say for himself. You can stand. You can stand. You don't get to sit.
Okay, that's fine.
No, where's the chair? Here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's getting all cozy.
All right. So I'm back, guys. What
Damn it.
So game 1.
Yeah,
Did he
Chris.
start with Golbez?
He played a turn 1 Golbez, and Chris took 1 damage for about 3 turns as he developed 5 backups.
And he was able to Shantoto, and he just
So then Jesse went up to 7 cards in hand, decided to play a Luso, and Chris decided that was worthy of a Shantoto.
He Shantoto the Luso.
So he Shantoto'd a Luso Golbez.
Luso
Oh,
Golbez.
yeah, certainly. 7 CP for 8 CP.
Yes. But,
Oh, hey.
neat.
Kelsey.
There, perfect.
Oh.
Now Kelsey can watch. Any comment about the bubble tea? Yeah, she's awesome. She's pretty neat. She likes my jokes. Not a lot of people do. Bubble tea. Let's talk about it.
Bubble tea.
I'd rather wouldn't have this conversation right now. I can see a lot of salt flowing from Wyatt.
So apparently I lost my wallet at home.
The first game.
And by at home, I mean it's probably on my desk.
You're an adult, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wanted that on the record.
No. But first, I'm just a piece of human garbage.
No,
because I'm
it's
sorry.
mostly jokes. I don't really care about the tea.
I don't really care.
It's whatever. I have water. Water's better for you. Okay, back to the game though. Okay, so Yang,
To the main phase.
I love this Yang. Jesse's deck plays it well with that Ursula. We talked about that interaction a little bit.
I love, dude. I ran it, and I've got it
Yeah.
in my Earth Water deck.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yes.
cares about your Earth Water deck.
I care, but not much.
Just the Yang
But,
Ursula combo
like,
is really good.
Yang Ursula, it's so good because he can get the Ursula because she's a 2-drop with Golbez. Then he can play. Okay, so here we see Death Gaze right on Golbez.
That one of Death Gaze that Chris decided
So
to add
strong.
for
So
the
strong.
day.
People, monsters are strong.
I put Death Gaze back in my.
Okay,
deck,
good,
too.
because I was talking about how you were saying like Yasmat,
I was
blah blah
worried
blah blah
about
blah.
it. I was worried about it, and-
It's a concern, sure, but like
I don't think Yasmat's as big of a problem.
a lot of
than
people are
that
too
other
of. It's a good card, but Death Gaze is also a good card.
Right, and I think there's a lot
It's how
less
you play.
Yasmats in the format than people expect there to
Right,
be.
like so obviously you're not gonna
Agreed.
Which is saying a lot because Yasmat wasn't expected to be big in the meta
the
anyways. So
9-drop,
definitely deters a lot of people, but it is definitely a great X burst to hit. So
Oh,
Great
you
card.
just hit an Aparuru or Star Sybil? Star Sybil.
a Star
Yeah,
Sybil, yep.
So
Star.
like obviously you don't Death Gaze something that gets a ETB, like entering the
Right.
battlefield.
Yep.
But-
and if you
Well,
do,
it's just so many people play ETB.
So do you
right,
think-
right,
it's hard to
you
avoid
do when you set yourself up where you can take it if it.
Do we think he's going to find the Shantoto again, or do we think he's going to go for more of something like a Camelot?
that. I would find Shantoto.
He has
Yeah.
to because
And that's how the
it's his
first
one.
game went too. So
Get
He
it?
has one. He only has
He
one.
only has one,
Then,
so
yeah,
I think
you
searching
need
for
to
it just
grab
so you have it.
And now, like, what's Jesse gonna do? Is he not gonna play forwards? Like, he has to.
well,
Like,
right,
that's
but
his
that
deck.
right, that's how the first game went too. So
So he just pushes him in a position to where he has to play forwards.
yeah,
So Chris is only playing one minor too, though. Like
yeah, but he does also have the Luminous Puma and
Yes.
Goldes, so he can actually
Yes.
bring back anything
right.
if we get to the late game.
yes,
So-
Puma's
Is
good.
the only Earth in his hand Shantoto and? Oh no, he's got Mist Dragon. He's just gonna.
Yeah, it looks like
Shantoto
he's
now.
just going to Shantoto, which seems worthwhile. I mean, it's a 2-for-1. I mean, you can't ask for much more out of Shantoto, especially when you develop. And,
Yeah.
And now
Jesse's
he's
down
got-
to what,
Jesse's
2
got
cards,
2
3
cards in
cards?
hand.
Yeah,
Which
so
Gilgamesh was that? Was that the?
yeah, he just draws and
strongest sword?
passes.
The strongest sword.
Okay, so that I mean,
It's a good hit.
I windmill slam the Shantoto. Then that's one of his answers. One of Jesse's answers is the strongest sword.
I not to be calling the game too early, but it.
Yeah,
It
this
looks-
is about
it
how
looks-
the first game went too. You
I've
know,
learned
like
my
you,
lesson.
you handle the first Golbez, and it's just hard to recover. And
I have called a lot of games that have turned around and they have won. So
and a
just
lot of games
see
that
how
have
it plays
almost turned around but haven't. We definitely saw earlier today Jesse against, I believe it was Michael,
It was
the
incredible.
Fire Ice deck,
Yeah.
where we just kind of put Michael out of it, and it ended with Michael having the board presence
yeah.
and 6 damage on his opponent.
Yeah.
But he just needed one more card in his deck and ended up milling because he had to
Shout out-
cloud twice.
Shout out to that game, Michael Jesse. I think that was round 3 or 4.
Yeah, somewhere around that
When
area.
you post the VOD, you should definitely check that out. That's my favorite game I've seen all day.
Nice.
The fact that he got back. You like you said, you thought that he was out of it, and I thought he was
Right.
out of it. I was saying like, oh, he's just doing the cloud for the memes,
Right.
and he really no.
Okay.
That's the playback on the computer.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
But he
if we're muted, this is all
this
for
is really
naught.
funny.
Well,
It makes it even better because then nobody can definitely hear
nobody
us.
can hear my dumb jokes. But yeah, like you said,
I can hear
you,
dumb
you
jokes.
don't
Wyatt. They're pretty great.
Camelot for what? Chaos.
Yeah, Cam for either Chaos or like
Veritas?
Galdes. I mean,
I mean, you get a Veritas. Yeah, that's smart. I wouldn't have minded the Veritas play too. Just like bait out, like go ahead, play your Golbez. Well,
yeah, I mean, I'd rather grab a Goldes at this point.
you're
but
right. No, because like if you had the Y'shtola out,
Yeah. Then you definitely, because it looks like he already has the Galdes in hand. So
I misspoke. But yes.
yeah, see,
no,
here
and
comes the
that's
Galdes to kind of
so
lock
strong.
things up.
So
and
Look at this. Look at
So
this
dark.
board president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you do break this Death Gaze, Chris can still get it back when Galdes dies, which,
Right.
you know, if you're going to be attacking with Galdes because you have to break him somehow, Galdes is definitely going to jump in front of him at one point in
Galdes
time
is
to
such
bring
a good
back
card.
to bring back the Death Gaze. Discard at random is not to be overlooked either.
Right.
Not at all. What I think, honestly, I think that's why Chris Neal plays it. You know, Chris Neal played it because it's you know, it's a strong forward that's above curve.
Looks like a Maya here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maya's coming in.
I mean,
But, I mean, like we were saying, you know, you're staring down a Camelot, a Galdes, and 4 backups. You know, I mean, 6
No,
cards in hand.
I'm
it's
not-
like
again, I'm not trying to call it, but
No,
it
right.
really does look
in Chris's favor at this
stacked in
point. So
Chris's favor.
you're
quite-
just the
quite-
bearer of
quite
bad
hard.
news, man.
I wonder what Chris named with Camelot here.
Probably lightning.
Probably Lightning, I would assume, you know, saved from Strongest Sword and stuff, but maybe he has a heads-up play where you can maybe try and protect from a different element with a Hecaton Kyre fight, but that seems really narrow.
If I know
Not
Chris
right.
like I think I do, he
It's gotta be
probably
lightning.
named Ice.
You know, he just got done playing against Fire Ice,
Yeah.
and they did play all 3 games, and he named Ice.
He's a bit drowsy.
Yeah,
No, he definitely called lightning.
Right.
Bahamut Zero's a thing.
Bahamut Zero, the strongest sword, like you said. Most of his answers
Yeah.
are going to be lightning.
yeah.
Oh, he's playing the Cecil.
Discards the Earth Cecil because he doesn't have enough damage. Plays Wind Cecil to activate 2 characters. And that's not restricted on elements like the other characters. Like I know Bart's is activate all wind characters, but
Exactly.
Cecil is just any 2 characters, which is really
This-
strong. Follow up with a Noctis. I mean,
Look at this board.
seems like a pretty good state to be in if you're on
I guess
Chris's side of the
hopefully
table.
he has an Exodus and he can call like 5, and then Chris can call 3.
Well, yeah, at 5 and 3, that's kind of a board wipe. But then at the same time, you know,
I don't think Chris calls anything.
He wouldn't. He would call 99. Okay, so
Yeah, knowing Chris.
I mean, it just says a number, right?
correct.
Yeah. So grabbing their last Golbez.
Yep. And we'll see if he can cobble together enough of a fight
Well,
here
if
with
he
this
can
last
play it,
Golbez. And
I mean,
you're definitely still in this. It looks like Chris's last card is a Veritas, which also makes the Camelot Search for Chaos a lot more understandable if he had the Galdes
had it
and the Veritas the
in
whole time.
hand,
He
yeah.
only has 1 dark card left, which is conveniently the best one in that situation too, because it lets you play the other ones out.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chris has had Veritas in hand for the
Right,
last
yep,
couple turns,
yep. I just got a good look at it this turn, so I thought I'd mention it.
Yeah.
And
It looks like Y'shtola, Luminous Puma, and Veritas in hand.
yeah, I would probably discard the Y'shtola and play a Veritas right here.
Veritas now before next turn.
Right. Well, and then you just keep the backup Puma to return anything just in case it goes south on you. But we'll see what it decides to do here. Even just attacking with everything isn't a bad place to start.
Play that Y'shtola down.
Playing out Y'shtola isn't a bad idea either. It's probably just the safest play. But
I mean, he doesn't have to, but
I agree. I think
you're really just gonna, put the kibosh on any type of momentum Jesse has, because you get a Golbez out, sure, but Y'shtola's gonna cancel that auto ability.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, I think you put Veritas down now because you know that one of his 3 cards is a Golbez.
Sure.
There's no way he's dealing lethal damage next turn, like Jesse is rather, and then you don't want to play Veritas next turn.
I really like the attack here.
Is Chris allowed to attack?
Yeah.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm just
he
kidding.
doesn't have Riku backup in play, so he is allowed to attack.
Has he been milling?
No,
Is that okay?
not this game.
We joke all day. Chris is I think 1 game due to milling with Riku's effects.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it has been damage or that
I lost
round 6
I lost 2
tie
games
that
to
we had.
Riku
So
Mill.
Yeah.
It is
It's okay.
too strong.
yeah, and I think
Honestly,
Jesse's
right
just
here,
trying
I
to
might just swing out. I mean, I swing with Camp.
You know,
with
at-
Golbez as well.
Yeah,
at this
and then
point,
play
I
the
might
toss,
I might
or-
just sit right here, play the Y'shtola, make sure nothing goes south. I mean, he has 2 forwards, you have 2 blockers. He taps,
One is
discards,
uninteractable, yeah.
uses all of his resources to play out a Golbez.
Do you think he just keeps Cam up? No.
No.
That's the end of
as I
that
said,
discussion.
He's only got 2 damage. There's
Yeah.
there's
Right.
nothing Jesse can do to win next turn.
Right.
Right.
Like to win.
Yeah.
So that, like, he's got nothing to lose.
Right. And he has enough in hand to even recover from any big turn Jesse does manage to put together. So
Yeah, and I mean, like this is where I like.
And we see the block on with the Gabranth there. I think he might have been trying to keep Gabranth around till 6 damage so he could become stronger. What, 9k, I believe? 8k, 9k, something like that with Brave?
8K.
So
8K, yep.
at least stand a chance, jumping forward in front of one of these forwards and maybe trade.
I think
But
Chris is just going to make the smart play Y'shtola.
yeah, Y'shtola
like
just
it.
covers from anything that Jesse could have. And
Well, especially because Jesse already lost a forward.
Right.
If he hadn't, maybe
100%.
keeping it down to 2 forwards.
And
would
now
have
if
been a better
Jesse
choice.
does play Golbez out, Chris is still free to play his Veritas in hand. He has the Y'shtola to cancel the ability, and then you're looking at 4 attackers to 1 blocker.
he
and
has
I don't.
the
Yep.
comment. Yep.
And
You
Jesse
just
sees
call
the
it.
writing on the
It's
wall.
game,
So
yeah.
Alright.
Very well played by both players. It was neat to see the Golbez. But yes,
Chris just won.
Chris taking the win. Maybe we'll have
Yeah.
an interview.
And I mean, is this kind of what you would expect from this matchup more often than not, or would you expect things to go a different way? I mean,
I
the
wouldn't, no.
the Golbez matchup into Earthwind is going to be really hard for the
say
Golbez player to win, but I
Probably
mean,
like 80%, 90% in Earthwind's favor.
So it's nothing
you're gonna
to,
say like an early aggression, like perfect.
Right.
He could win.
and I think that's kind of what they're talking about a little bit right now too. Is just like I mean, I had Turn and Golbez both games. Like I did what I could, but I just
I want to just say like Jesse's deck is well built. He did have a lot of answers to some stuff.
Oh, 100%. I mean, a second place finish, only losing to Chris all day isn't anything to scoff at. I mean,
Chris go undefeated all day?
Chris had a tie in round 6 that counted as a double
went
loss, and then he
1-1.
went 2-1 in both of his top 8 matchups. So,
But what a scrub losing games.
but losing games, not matches. It's where you want to be. So,
Yes.
Is that your guys' Matt?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I thought so.
so
That's cool.
Finalist? I've never been. to
definitely
the-
go and have a talk with the guys. Try and get Chris on stream. See if he wants to
Josh,
say
you
a few words. But
you wanna go grab
step
him?
away for a second.
Do you want to get both players or just Chris?
If we get both players, it's going to get crowded. One of us. has
Yes.
gotta
Okay.
leave.
Both players then.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Dylan.
All right, so it sounds like we're gonna get the winner here on stream, and we'll probably bring Jesse in just to say hi to.
Just see if he wants to shout anything out.
Yeah, because incredible player. I mean,
Jesse's wife, if you're listening, he did a fantastic job.
what we haven't mentioned since I left the stream actually is that Canada has been overrepresented in this top 8.
Yep.
Let's talk to Jesse first real quick. Jesse, come up here.
Jesse,
sir.
come on down, bud.
Chris, you can wait.
Oh, we're dual miking.
No, you.
2-1.
No.
So, it's all right. So, I just want to talk to Jesse first. Jesse,
No, they're both going to be there.
came from Canada, man.
Hey.
How'd you feel?
It was good. I had fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, this is your second time coming down here, right?
Yeah.
And by judging of that, Matt, you got what? Was that 4th place at the last
He beat
big
me
event
last
we had?
time too, so.
Yeah, Chris does that. So, would you mind coming up to the mic a bit? I just want
Yeah,
to make sure
sure.
that we're getting caught.
Yeah.
Awesome. What did you think about today? Not the event. Like we can talk about that later. But like your matchups, do you feel like Golbez was in a good spot? I talked to you about this before.
Well,
but
I think
that was like 4 rounds ago.
I think that if Earth Wind becomes more and more popular, it definitely isn't. Because Y'shtola, Shantoto,
Oh
and
yeah.
all that, it's
All the
basically-
answers.
It has all the
Death
answers.
gaze.
So it instantly becomes nothing after that.
He pays 6. You pay 6 CP to drop a forward, and he pays 3 CP to remove
Yeah.
that from the game. And
Yeah.
you basically do you have any monster?
No,
monster
but
structure,
I mean,
which
you,
I mean
you
not
can,
not to be that. Yeah,
you can
I mean,
technically.
I'm gonna throw Shemhazai in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can throw some sort of monster removal in into that.
But at that point, then he just, like you said, he just plays Shantoto on you.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'll death gaze you. Okay, Shantoto. It is certainly a rough matchup. I think it's probably your worst matchup, in my opinion. I don't know what you would say.
Mono-wind with Y'shtola and Yuri.
yeah, Monowind is actually really bad too.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's probably might be worse because
Yep.
Yuri's just such a like. You can
I'm
sit
gonna
there
blank him.
and
I'm gonna
wait.
Del freeze him for
Yeah.
the rest of the game. Yeah.
At least with the Shantoto, you can kind of try to get him to Shantoto you before you play Golbez.
Yeah.
Like you try to pressure it, and then
Yeah.
they Shantoto and they waste the Shantoto, and then you can just go in with the Shantoto or
What do
the
you-
Golbez. Sorry.
What did you see most today? What did you play up against most? Did you see like any repeat offenders?
Did I? I'm trying to think. No, not
No?
really. I played actually a pretty
It
variety.
seemed like
I
a
played
pretty diverse.
Ice water deck. I played a fire lightning deck, a fire ice deck, earth wind, and mono wind.
Besides Chris, what was your hardest matchup all day?
Mono-wind.
Mono-wind?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my first round too, and I beat him on the first round. But
Okay.
So what So what I'm hearing is that control is hard for you, and like that makes sense because it's a
Yes.
counter to hard aggro.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I would question normally when I'm playing mono wind, which I play a lot. I'm not sure if we've spoken about this, but that's kind of what I've been on a kick lately.
Yeah.
That's what I do well with. I get worried about these hyper aggro. I mean, of course, I just build backups and then like go from there.
Yes.
You know, but it's scary to see somebody go boom, 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 5 forwards, and it's like, oh well, he's got 5 forwards, turn 2, and I have 2 backups.
Yeah.
What do I do? You know, so like you see that sort of thing come at you, and as the control player, you know, I try not to underestimate the Golbez because it's there.
yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I mean, I could pretty much roll over top of any deck, really.
If the cards get
realistically,
drawn
like if I
right
get,
and-
if you kind of have a little bit of a slower start, then I could just roll over top of you.
Yeah.
With mono wind, whereas earth wind, it can bounce back better.
Their EX bursts just get the cards that they need to beat you. You know, like,
Yeah.
you hit Shantoto on the EX burst, or you hit Star Sybil, and he's like, okay, I'll find my Shantoto, please.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's exactly it. And he did that, I think.
Both games.
Both games.
Noctis is really big too. Being
Both
able to
games, like
fight.
the first or second.
Oh,
fight, yeah.
Noctis killing off the small forwards,
Killing
yeah.
off Larsa. I mean, Larsa's
It's-
pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Noctis is a pain. Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Coming from a nice player, Noctis is the worst. I totally agree. I hate seeing Noctis come down when I'm trying to play an aggressive deck.
Yeah.
You know, like Fire Water is like my second favorite deck in the game, and it's like, oh, Noctis just eats Zidane's alive. You know, I'll eat 2, please. But I'll take 2, a double quarter pounder Zidane. But yeah, so that's cool, man. What would you say? So what about you played Edward Ivani? He was on the Fire Lightning.
Yeah.
That I feel like that's a pretty aggressive list too. Of course, that's a little more mid-rangey aggression because
Yeah.
he has backups.
Yeah.
But what did you feel like? Did you feel like that aggression? Like, was that something that you worried about? Like, can he out aggro me, or were you just like, I can play 5 forwards in a turn, screw this guy?
no. Like our first game during the Swiss, I basically beat him with Gilgamesh, Strongest Sword.
Sure.
I had like
Oh, God,
I just
that
I did like
card's
4 or
nuts.
5 Strongest Sword.
How do you come back from that?
effects.
If
Yeah.
you don't have an answer for it, like Gilgamesh Strongest Sword just wins the tournament. You know,
Yeah,
I'll break
it
a
was
forward every turn,
ridiculous.
please, after attacking.
Yeah, when I faced him in the best of 3, it was a lot better of a game. He basically, it was kind of like a stalemate where it's like I can hit you for 4 damage and then you're gonna crack back at me for 5.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
have
yeah.
to be careful.
You have
where
to
I'm-
not be
where
stupid
I'm-
about your
yeah,
swings.
exactly.
Yeah, you need to leave a couple of those forwards up that you would normally just go, "Oops, I'll swing with all of them."
Exactly,
Back to block. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And especially like with your deletas, like it's just so efficient. Like the 3-drop 9K deleta. Like it's like, okay, I'll get rid of the Cosmos that got me the value to play like the thing that I needed at the time.
Yep.
Or I'll get rid of the Kefka that has already broken my
Yeah.
thing once.
Exactly.
And it's just such an efficient forward. And the fact that it's just a body that like your opponent has to answer. Well, they don't, but like all of your bodies just deal damage.
Yeah.
Right? Like I mean, Luso deals double if you're in the right spot.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just an interesting list, and I really like your take on it.
Yeah.
We will be posting these lists after today. What did you gain any like specific inspiration for the list, or like what pushed you into going, I'm gonna play Kefka now. I'm gonna play Delita now. I'm gonna play
Like during-
both the new cool guys.
Oh, okay, like in the list or something?
If Dylan would have been around for the first interview, he would have had all these questions answered.
Oh,
Oh,
did
yeah.
you interview
We
recently?
talked about Opus 9.
Sure.
And how it was, it really made it more.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah,
because people were playing it last
Gabranth.
year or
Yes.
last.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
Gabranth is nuts.
Jesse, I got a question for you. Obviously, you strongest sword a bunch today. Was there any time that you whiffed today?
No.
Nice,
Really?
100%
Not
batting 100.
once. Not
My
once
boy.
today.
Awesome.
I definitely
times
have
do
in
you
the
think you did
past.
it?
Yeah.
How many times do you think you performed Strongest Sword?
Too many to count.
How many do you think? Like, just a number. Double digits?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Quadruple
at least
digits?
12.
4,000
today.
times?
I think 12.
12. That's nuts.
At least.
And you didn't whiff once? That's awesome.
$1
Yeah.
billion.
About 13 trillion times. That's cool. That's awesome, man. Like, you basically tore people's forwards up.
Yeah.
That's a nice foil Fina. But, that's cool, man. Do you think you're going to come out to another event or
Yeah,
two?
definitely. When you guys do your, what do you call it, Knights of the Round,
Yeah?
I'll be out here.
Awesome, dude. I'm really glad that you come. I think that we're pretty. I think, like, of course I'm biased, but I feel like the competition is pretty stiff.
Yeah.
And I think that you get a lot of good play experience, even outside of like the official tournaments that Square ends up hosting.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. Meta Potion has their circuit. RVA has their Soldier series. These, and with the Knights of the Round, we don't get the same turnout and stuff like that. We get actually rather similar, like a 26 tournament. 26 person Knights of the Round. Thanks to half of them being Canadian, eh?
Well,
it's a good time.
Making friends with Minnesota too. Like
Yeah.
a lot of them will be coming down. So.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome, and I think that's something that we don't say often enough. Like, our community is great at like inviting people, but like reaching out. That community outreach is important in order to get better players, improve everybody, and just get like a larger quantity. Is there any constructive criticism you have for the event or for the people or for the just like
No,
your
it's
thoughts?
awesome.
Fire this guy.
Yeah, fire me. I went out and got tea halfway through it because
Didn't bring
I
me
talked
tea
for
that you said
7
you were-
hours.
I appreciate my team.
Yeah. So what was your favorite part about the tournament today, other than obviously kicking butt the entire time until like you meet Chris, and Chris is just the wall.
Just
I hit
facing
the wall
different
too.
people. Like,
Yeah.
we obviously, like, we only have a group of like 16 or so people at Winnipeg, so
Yeah.
we face the same people over and over. And,
Yeah, I can. That
coming out here and facing different people and seeing what people's takes on certain things are is great.
Absolutely.
what sort of so I'm not sure if Wyatt's mentioned. I'm sure he's mentioned a couple times as a stream in particular, but me and this wonderful gentleman sitting next to me, between you and I, it's a ham sandwich of friendship.
There's a lot of beef.
There's a lot of beef. But so we're starting up a content creation program for it. I mentioned that to you.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And it's all part of under Metamaniacs. Those little double M's, red and blue. It's going to be a sort of a correlation, a conglomerate of sorts, for just like advice, for content, for streams, for games, for articles on topics. I'm not sure if I've made a couple topics posts to the NA page before.
Yeah.
On that, just like on breakdowns of Ifrita and stuff like that. And I try to throw my hat in the ring, just to like give like 2 cents and such. What would you like to see?
What would I like to see
What
towards?
would you like to
like
see?
content.
What sort of content are you interested in seeing? What do you want me to make you?
Like
What do you want me
personally,
to sign your name on?
I love watching just a stream, just like people duking it out and seeing different decks. Personally, like, would you rather like read articles or see videos or deck tech or just talk or
Like,
Well, I like when people do just basically games and matches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think if you're gonna bring out, like, some people bring out deck techs and stuff like that, but that's great and all. But like, I think that you should actually play it
I
and actually
totally
play
agree.
it as well.
Totally agree.
If you're gonna bring out a
a
deck
great
tech
idea.
and actually
Show it
show
and play.
something that's unique or something
Yeah.
like that, you should actually be playing it as well, so people understand.
So
Like
you
a
mean,
level as to how it goes, like your sequences and stuff like that.
So you're talking
Yeah,
like open play? So like, let's say,
Well-
so like where you're voicing out your actions while doing it,
You can
or
do a
are
versus series. So, like, if you have 2 decks that you're bringing to the table, whatever those decks may be, maybe one's meta, one's not meta. I think they have a
Oh, sure,
versus meme.
meta versus meme, yeah.
They have
Team
something
Calamity,
similar to
right?
that.
Team Calamity? I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shout out to Team Calamity. Awesome.
I
Very-
think that's a very good way of doing it. Like, you break down the deck first beforehand, and then you go into it and
Get a few players that are pretty equally
You
skilled
can
and have
show
them
the
throw.
interactions that you're telling the people that are good and what the deck does, and then
Sure.
show them what the deck does.
Cool.
Because then you can see lines of play.
yeah, exactly.
So other than an intermission screen, what do you think we should add onto the stream? Because we'll be back, and the player names is a little odd. It was just first time stream, we missed stuff like
well,
that.
it's the struggle with like card games is because you can only have so many, like, you can only show one game at a time.
Yeah.
And so you have so
Actually-
much like weight.
Au contraire, mon chéri.
Well, there's
Fair.
I did. Sorry. But I think actually, if I go and do this. So I'll show you a little inside sneak
have a
peek.
table, too.
I did have a second camera set up for that, but we kind of had a concern about having a little bit of player audio, just in case we're not talking. Having some player audio coming up on the stream, so that people still get like a reference of context. And that was an idea of our network lead and our web admin, Hashtag Dan Green, hashtag Green Team, hashtag Bird Squad. Bop, bop. Hashtag too many hashtags. So we had a second up. And like I thought that it was important to have a second one to swap to, just in case the game did go quickly. And I would like that. Like that's the feedback.
Definitely
that
something I would do in the future.
Sure.
I think like what was it? Epic Gaming does it.
Yeah, where they've got table 1 and table 2.
One,
Sure.
Table 2.
Or yeah.
It's just better. I think like to kind of like then you don't lose people's attention.
Shout out to Christian Tate.
Yeah. My boy Christian Tate. No, and all the guys at Epic. Honestly, one of the things that I looked at when setting up our stream was how do they do it? Because they have the best stream in FFTCG, the most consistent scheduling. You know, they have a great voice, generally commentary over some bigger matches, and like the players talking. Like honestly, it's nice to just hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't even have any tunes in the background. Squawk, squawk, chocobos and stuff. Like nothing like that. So like in the future, you know, hoping to improve to that. But I wanted to ensure that we got a diverse representation of our groups. I made it very hard. I mean, I was very particular about who we put on stream, who was represented. I didn't want like 3 ice and 3 water winds to be on.
It was very good. I like that.
And you know, we're just getting people that hadn't played before.
So, Jesse, congratulations. Is there anybody you want to shout out now? Like, you want to tell your wife, I told her not to be mad at you.
Yeah, I know. She texted me after that.
Oh, did she?
Did she?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put anybody on the spot, but this is my boy.
But, yeah, so...
Any shout-outs? Anything you want to add?
Galaxy from Winnipeg, right?
Yeah.
Shout out your LQ.
Galaxy Comics, we play there all the time. We play on Thursdays. We got a good group of guys, like tight-knit group. We have a couple new guys coming in every once in a while.
Yes.
It's always nice to see it's growing.
Right,
So.
and I met a lot of you guys. You guys are super nice guys.
Wonderful people.
You guys are having an LQ up there?
We already did.
You already did.
Who took that?
Me.
Okay, so... man, when it rains, it pours, huh? The rich get richer.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I didn't play. Like, you know, I had it, you know, I'm not trying to be that way.
They passed down.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it was just like, you know, I don't want to knock people out that I think deserve it. And
When if you got to do it, you do it with a Gopez deck.
yeah, if you got to do it, you meme them, man.
I don't care. Like if he would have won, I would have been happy.
Dude, I was excited. I was rooting for Jesse Clint on Mono Earth 15.
Yeah.
Or Chris,
The
because
boys,
Chris
yeah.
is, you know, one of my favorite people in
Backstreet
the world.
Boys.
Yeah.
So yeah, the boys were back, man. They were kicking ass, kicking butt.
It's a
But
solid deck.
it is technically not a swear, but yeah, no, I apologize. But yeah, man, that's super cool. Do you think that you guys might be making a little less of a trip going to the Grand Forks Regional here on August 25th? Is it Grand City
25th.
Games?
Yeah. Grand City Games, 25th, Sunday. We will be having an LQ in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
And the reason I'm asking is because I believe that we like this tournament. I believe was the largest local qualifier that Minnesota, North Dakota has had so far. I'm unsubstantiated, but if somebody else knows that,
I think you're
tell
probably
me.
right on that.
Minneapolis had 26 last time, and I think that was the largest they've had. So 33 is, I mean, that's pretty sweet, right?
Yeah.
I think it was a really good turnout, and I'm really happy with the way it went. And it was ran by some incredible people other than myself.
I didn't run.
So
I played.
Josh Danzel really carried the tournament on his back. But I think the Grand Forks Regional will be smaller than what you might expect. I think it's gonna have.
Hopefully.
I think they're gonna be good,
don't have
like
much
darn
room.
good players. Really, I think they're gonna be some of our best players that like just get snuck out. Like Wyatt, really good player. He lies and he says that he's not, and he gets down on himself. But he's a darn good player if you don't mill him out.
Yeah.
And Jeff Henry,
Go
Jeff
2-4.
Henry, stupidly good player. Josh Danzel, who won't play, very good player. Cole Son, Cole Sondrio.
Yeah.
You know, these are all darn good players from the Fargo area, and not
Yeah.
including the Minneapolis guys. But the Minneapolis guys, it's like a 5-hour drive to go up to Grand Forks. But you've got about 3, right?
Yeah.
You guys think that you might come down and hit up their event?
Don't know personally if I'll be going, but I
Sure.
know that there's
You
a
got
couple
your crown,
guys.
right?
I think there's a couple guys definitely making the trip.
Sure.
So
That's good to hear.
We'll be
It's good
glad
hear.
to have him.
But thank you, Jesse, for being up in the stream booth. What? This has got to be the 3rd time.
Yeah,
Because
third
I
time,
interviewed
yeah.
you once. Apparently, he interviewed
hat
you once.
trick.
That's awesome. But shaking your hand, thank you for being here.
Thanks, guys.
More
It
than
was
you
awesome.
know. Thanks, dude.
Well played.
And I guess we're gonna ask Chris to come up.
Yeah,
and
for
talk.
sure.
Chris Danzel.
We will have Chris Danzel coming up here soon. I do apologize for Dylan. He's not so much with the words,
I'm so tired. I'm sorry.
just
I
with
tend
the
to ramble when I'm
emotions,
tired.
and he loves more than he talks.
Oh, I sure do. But we're gonna get Chris up here just to do a quick interview. Outro. Chris,
The man, the myth, the legend.
the Danzel.
Battle for North America you didn't know you needed, but we deserved.
Will not be making it to Nats because of when it is.
So, Chris Danzel, will you not be making it to Nats because of when it is?
I'm gonna try.
Okay, that's good.
Have
So
to-
it's close to my birthday. You
I,
should go.
I have
It's
to
the day
travel. I
before.
have to travel with you.
Ouch.
Can I have your trophy?
No.
All right, didn't hurt to ask.
Yeah. Can I have your trophy?
No.
Damn it.
Yeah, don't you have one?
If you ask, I could ask.
So, I interviewed him in depth.
Yeah.
Too in depth.
You feel like
There
it
were
was-
too many
it was a good
questions.
time?
I mean, do you have anything you want to shout out, Chris? Anything to say about
Well,
the game?
I already thanked Metamaniacs and Paradox,
Yes.
so that leaves all the people who showed up to play today.
Yes.
Some Square Enix for making the card game,
Great turnout today.
and all my awesome friends,
Yes.
most of which are here right now.
What did you think that you were gonna take Fargo's LQ 2 years in a row?
No,
No. Are you happy you did? Are you happy you audibled to Earth Wind?
I'm not unhappy.
That's pretty cool. I'm really happy for you, man. And I don't think anybody in this room deserved it more than you. So
I was close to playing Firewater.
I'm really glad you did play that.
Although there was a lack of Water Wind with
Yeah.
the Balafer, Fina, Famfrit
Like I said,
shenanigans.
Post, yeah. Wyatt
I-
took the grunt for everyone.
I expected there to be a lot more.
Like I said, post tournament, we're planning to do an op-ed about the turnout actually, because I was quite surprised. Very few Water Wind, but other than that, it's been a late night. We've been talking for about 20 minutes after cards got done slinging.
Nobody's listening anymore.
No, probably not. They might. Some people might. But
If anybody's listening, I'm sure you're concerned about my bubble tea. I will get it eventually.
but
Hashtag bubble tea, hashtag Bird Gang.
we're gonna get so much better. But it's 10:10 or it's 10:12. Chris, do you have anything else to say to the people before we sign off?
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. And that's it, I think. We are good on the first wrap for the first Metamaniacs, first big piece of content that Metamaniacs and Back to the Main Phase is putting out from your homegrown, mom and pop loving, North Dakota, accent open people. Thank you for being here.
I don't love any moms or dads.
I love my mom. She's pretty great. But thank you again. And we'll talk to you soon. Check out Metamaniacs' YouTube channel for more info on future content at metamaniacs.com / back to the main face. We'll eventually be on there. Probably maybe a little, what do you call it? BTT MP. But thanks again. We're signing off. I'm Dylan. Chris and Wyatt.
I'm Chris.
Peace out.